This is not democracy, he says. This is not constitutional. This is wrong in every aspect, and the judge and the AG should be arrested and punished accordingly. And how much longer?
It's like clockwork. Trump's got two moves. Threaten the prosecutor, threaten the judge, as you just saw there in the speech Donald Trump gave on Friday, and then go to the MAGA base and grift and beg them for money. Yeah, I'm a billionaire, but I need your help. That is precisely what happened on Friday after the New York Attorney General filed the closing brief before the New York court that is hearing the fraud case, where closing arguments are scheduled to take place soon. And in the final brief, New York Attorney General Letitia James demanded $370 million in connection with the damages that were caused by Donald Trump's fraud during the statute of limitations period, and also an injunction permanently banning Donald Trump from ever doing anything with real estate or ever running businesses in the state of New York again, and having a permanent receivership. So Donald Trump then gives that speech, threatens right there New York Attorney General Letitia James and Justice Engoron, and then goes right online and then grifts and grifts. This is the email that was sent, and I get the Trump email so I can keep you all posted. And here's what it says. It says, "The racist and vindictive New York Attorney General has made her final demand in my rigged trial. She's asking for the Democrat judge to force me to pay $370 million and to ban me for life from practicing real estate in the state I helped build. Are you ready for the worst part? It's 100% up to the Democrat judge to comply with her demand. I don't even get a jury. The left wants to put me in jail and drain me of every last penny in my account, all because I'm running to do the one thing they never will, and that's put you first. Now, before I make a contribution request, I want to make one point absolutely clear, something I know the fake news will ignore. I am not asking you for help for what could be a $370 million fine for doing nothing wrong. Rather, I am asking for you to make a contribution today to save our country from the evil and incompetent people who are letting it burn to the ground. Please make a contribution to save America once and for all. And your money will go to Alina Habba, it will go to the experts, it will go to paying for Donald Trump's legal fees." So I just want to get this straight. Now, I want to make it clear, I'm not going to ask you for money for my legal, but I am going to ask you for money to save our country, which in Donald Trump's world means to pay for his legal fees. And by the way, like over $55–60 million, even more, have been spent on legal fees already from the Save America organization. I think Alina Habba's gotten paid like $3 million, and experts gotten paid $1 million. The witness lawyers get paid all of this money. Discovery fees. That's how Donald Trump is spending his money. So Donald Trump sends out that message. And by the way, the state that I helped build, you didn't help. You think you helped build New York State because you do the griftiest stuff and you put your name on a building? You didn't build New York. You didn't build Manhattan. You didn't build 57th Street. You built you didn't even do it. You put your name on some buildings because you care about seeing your name on buildings. And then you bankrupted 3 businesses. You bankrupted your casinos in Atlantic City. You didn't build New York, you sociopathic crook. You. Then Donald Trump goes on his social media platform, and what does he do? So on Thursday, what was his whole day? His whole day, E. Jean Carroll. I think he posted about 50 messages. Here, I'll show you some of them here. This was the Thursday. This is how his Thursday was. And I want to explain to you what's going on in his mind right now. So Trump on Thursday posts like 50 to 60 messages about E. Jean Carroll. Post. The victim, who he has been found by a court of law, a federal court of law, to have sexually assaulted, to have raped, he spent Thursday tormenting her on his social media by posting 50 to 60 times about his victim. That was Thursday. On Friday, posting about 50 times about New York Attorney General Letitia James. Post. Videos of New York Attorney General Letitia James. Photos of New York Attorney General Letitia James. Random rantings about New York Attorney General Letitia James. So just so you know what's going on here, Donald Trump's fish brain thinks about 3 hours ahead. And I want to give props to Michael Cohen here, because Cohen had some great insight, and Cohen obviously had been around Donald Trump for like a decade, so he knows the way Trump thinks. And when Cohen said it, it didn't fully click, but now I get it. He's like, Donald Trump isn't thinking about any of the trials in the future. For him, a month is an extraordinary long amount of time. The only thing that Trump's thinking about is like the next day, and then he starts to think about something. He's so short-sighted that something happens in the E. Jean Carroll case. The Second Circuit denies Donald Trump's stay request. The district court federal judge rejects Donald Trump's to try to disclose an expert 10 months late. Donald Trump realizes he has to show up potentially to this federal defamation case against E. Jean Carroll. I think Donald Trump thought it was going to be delayed. I guess he doesn't have to. He cannot show up like he did in the other one, but he's going to get hit with a verdict for tens of millions of dollars. So E. Jean Carroll's on his mind. Post. Today, New York Attorney General Letitia James files a brief. Frankly, I thought she was going to ask for over $500 million. I think her request for $370 million, which she's going to get. Judge Engoron's going to rule in her favor. There's overwhelming evidence for it. I think she picked a very conservative number to avoid any statute of limitations appeal. That's how she got $370 million. I mean, if you included all 11 years, it would be probably $2.2 billion, but I think she really narrowly tailored this to $370 million just to make sure there isn't any real appealable issues and to make it appeal proof. So Donald Trump sees that, so he posts all of these things. Letitia James, post. And then he gives the speech where he says that they should be arrested, and he thinks that that's like how you behave. And, you know, in MAGA world, they reward that behavior. By the way, in that same speech that I just shared with you, what is Donald Trump doing as well? Donald Trump goes up and he threatens the United States Supreme Court, because that's on his mind right now as well. He's worried that the Supreme Court is going to issue a ruling disqualifying him from the ballot. I think he thinks the Supreme Court's also going to rule that he's not entitled to absolute presidential immunity. So what does he do? He basically threatens them. Watch what he does. This is like mafia-style threats. Play this clip.
And they're saying, oh, Trump owns the Supreme Court. He owns it. He owns it. If they make a decision for him, it will be terrible. It'll ruin their reputations. He owns the Supreme Court. He put on 3 judges. He owns the Supreme Court. If they rule in his favor, it will be horrible for them. And we'll protest at their houses and we'll do all of the things that you see. And that puts pressure on people to do the wrong thing. What they're doing is no different than Bobby Knight. They're playing the ref. I watched that. I said, man, they're really good. They're really good at it. And I just hope we get fair treatment, because if we don't, our country's in big, big trouble. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? I think so. Because they'll cover that completely differently. They'll cover that in a much different manner. But I'm just saying it's a very unfair situation that takes place. So.
And watch here Donald Trump's message to his justices on the Supreme Court on what they should consider. Play this clip.
I had the one, and then I had the other. Supreme Court is taking the case from Colorado, and so they'll make a decision. And you know what I do find, and, you know, maybe say it, maybe don't, but I say it. A Democrat judge appointed by, let's say, Obama, they're down and they say, we're appointed, that's the end. When you are a Republican judge and you're appointed by, let's say, Trump, they go out of their way to hurt you so that they can show that they have been fair fair, honorable people. It's an amazing difference. I've never seen anything like it. You appoint some of these radical left Democrats, and they've, right from the beginning, you say, we're dead. And the Republican judges want to go out of their way to be fair and unbiased, and even to a point where they hurt you. And I guess it's a different wiring system or something. But all I want is fair. I fought really hard to get 3 very, very good people, and they're great people, very smart people. And I just hope that they're going to be fair because, you know, the other side plays the ref, like Bobby Knight, the great Bobby Knight.
And by the way, as you watch those clips of him, like sweaty, panicky, in a total frenzy, if you just watch that with the sound off as well, it accentuates it even more. But he's spiraling quickly right now. And by the way, every day there's going to be news updates, like big updates in the New York Attorney General case, big updates in the E. Jean Carroll case, big updates in the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals case. And I expect Trump to pretty much lose across the board. I mean, it's possible on some technical ground. I think the Supreme Court may not disqualify Donald Trump, but that's the only one that I think Donald Trump could prevail on. And the Supreme Court could find that they're not going to rule on the issue because it's a moot at this stage. The Supreme Court can hold off ruling on what they call the Purcell principle, that we're too close to an election, so we're not going to rule on the issue of disqualification. I would totally disagree with it, but I could see the Supreme Court being cowardly and not affirming the Colorado Supreme Court order. But otherwise, it's going to be loss, and massive losses. So we will see. We'll keep you posted, though. But obviously frantic and begging his supporters for money. Simple. I'm Ben Meiselas. This is the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 2 million subscribers by the end of January. Subscribe right now to this channel. Hit the thumbs up. Leave a comment. Have a great day.
Hey Midas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.